Glock has just released Generation 5. Is it Generation awesome? Let's talk about it on the next Fit and Fire.
Go ahead.
Welcome to another edition of Fit and Fire, your home for guns and gear and the fitness to run both. I'm Mark and I really appreciate you guys stopping by. So Glock has released their newest generation of pistols. It is the Gen 5 and they have so far released it in the Glock 17 and 19. So what are the upgrades? What does it mean? And is it really an upgrade or a should have been? That's kind of the big question that I have at the moment. Now, full disclosure, I have not had my hands on a Gen 5 as of yet, but I'm eagerly calling all of the shops that I can to see if I can get my hands on them and get some rounds down range with one as soon as possible. If I'm able to do that, I'll get some video and I'll put an update to this video. So let's get into some of the major improvements of the Generation 5. We'll start from the bottom of the pistol and we'll work our way up. First and foremost, the mag well has been flared quite a bit. So in relation to the Gen 4s, the Gen 5s has a flare to the mag well to allow for easier magazine changes. I think that's actually a pretty decent upgrade from the Gen 4s, seeing that a lot of Glocks are used for competition shooting, and a number of competition shooters will actually put an aftermarket mag well flare on the bottom of their pistol. So that I don't necessarily eliminates that need, but it does help quite a bit, especially for that segment of the gun community. So I guess good on you there. I will have to say that I have never had a problem with changing out magazines. If I have, it's all about training and not the pistol itself. So there's kind of the pro and the con, both sides of the coin to it. The very next thing is the front of the mag well has a cutout to allow you to get your fingers in and rip out a magazine if there's some type of malfunction, whether it be a stovepipe or a double feed or something that you have to get that magazine out as quickly as possible. I understand the reason for that, but the ergonomics of it is somewhat troubling to me, and I'll tell you exactly why. So I've got my Gen 4 Glock right here. The cutout is going to be at the base of the pistol grip or just on the outside of the mag well, and I have been instructed in my pistol class with Thunderbird Tactical out of Wichita, Kansas, that the hole on the back of the mag well was actually intended for you to put your thumb into to help get some leverage when ripping that mag out. So the cutout on the front side is actually a little redundant. It may give you a little bit more purchase on the base plate of that magazine. However, the problem that I have here is the ergonomics of it is cut out so you can get your thumb around it, correct? Well, look where my hand is. I typically don't pull this way, right? I am usually pull this way with a kind of a pincer style movement with my palm facing out. I'm indexing and putting my magazines in this way, so my fingers are naturally somewhat this way. Wrenching my arm around this way just doesn't feel right to me. I could be completely wrong. That's how I've been trained. That's my preference. You guys can chew me up in the comments down below, but I really think that cutout there is somewhat unneeded or maybe a little late coming. So let's talk about the magazines themselves. The base plate has actually been extended on the Gen 5 magazines to help you get a little bit better purchase, especially with that cutout. So couple those two things together and I kind of see their point, but still I refer back to my original point of the hole on the back of the mag well here Also of note, a lot of people put plugs there. Please stop putting plugs in your freaking mag wells. It's not what that's for. So it's actually supposed to help allow debris to come out too. So stop putting the plugs in. So back to the mags. Sorry, tangent. The base plate has been extended for you to get a better purchase to rip those magazines out, and then the follower has been changed in color to an orange, so as you are looking at the back of the magazine, you can better see where you are indexed as far as how many rounds you have. So, I mean, just like, wait a second. This is a Glock magazine, it's got an orange follower. Oh wait, this is the Magpul follower and the Magpul magazine. So, I wonder where they got that. Incidentally, I think the CZP-10 also has a magazine with an orange follower. Looks like Glock is a little Johnny-come-lately with that one, but at the end of the day, it is an improvement, and I can't fault them for trying to improve their product. I just feel, again, it's just a little behind the curve when some of these innovations coming out. All right, so let's talk about the mag release. The mag release has been improved on the Gen 5s. With my Gen 4 here, it's on the left side as normal, but they also will have a mag release on the right side of the pistol for you southpaws. Your left-handed people will now have the ability to release the slide with your left hand with no problem. So your prayers have been answered. For all you southpaws out there, you now have a mag release on the right side of the pistol as well. Garan Thumb in his review said that the magazine release is ambidextrous as well. You can swap out the magazine release from the left side of the pistol to the right side of the pistol on the Gen 5s, but I don't know if he knows this or not. The Gen 4s already has that feature available for it. You can switch the mag release on the Gen 4s. So there's those two things. The front of the slide has been beveled. So here with the Glock 19 Gen 4, this is actually fairly flat. It is now beveled like the Glock 26 is. My Glock 26 does have a beveled front. That is supposed to help with the ease of reholstering your pistol. I personally feel that if you have a problem reholstering your pistol, you're probably a virgin. I've never had a problem inserting my pistol into a holster. And if I have, I will revert back to my original statement. It's probably a training problem, to be frankly honest with you. But again, that's an upgrade, I guess. I don't know if it's necessary, but there it is. The slide has a new coating on it. It's a new NDLC coating. It's iodized. It actually makes the coating of the Glock look a little darker and more black. So I guess that's a good thing, and it's also supposed to strengthen the coating of the slide as well to prevent from wear. So I haven't had a problem with my Gen 4. I have no wear marks on this slide as of yet, and it's been in and out of a holster a couple thousand times through IDPA, 3-gun matches, training, so on and so forth. So far, no problems with that, but you know, I think that's improving the product is always something that people should look into. So I say good on you, Glock, for checking that out. The pistol grip here, this is my Gen 4. As you can see, it's got the finger grooves. The Glock Gen 5 does not have finger grooves, or what I like to call the AKA Gen 2. I mean, really, you put the finger grooves in and then you took them out. Most of the time people are going to customize their grips anyway to get rid of this very aggressive texturing that you've got, because there's some people that just don't like it. So they're going to take off the finger grooves anyway. I think it's just silly that they took off the finger grooves and call that an improvement. I do understand that people have larger hands than I do with my Doug Flutie hands, but I've never had a problem. Even with gloves, I've never had a problem with these finger grooves. That's just my personal take, my personal preference. I don't have a problem with it. So, you know, be what it may, that's what it is. Let's talk about the improvement to the sights. Yes, Glock has actually improved the sights. Can you believe that? The rear notch of the factory sights have actually been widened, and the U that outlines the notch on the rear sight has been thinned, so it's not so bright and in your face, which help you find your front sight post a little bit easier. But guess what? They're still plastic. Are you serious, Glock? You're still using plastic sights. What is the problem? What seriously is the problem that you can't figure out that we do not want plastic sights? I just don't understand why you're not listening to your customers. Yes, I do know that Glock does offer an upgrade to AmeriGlow sights, which is what I have on my Glock Gen 4 here, but come on. Just change them out, make them better to begin with. That's the whole point of a new generation, is to step it up. And you guys are not innovating. You thinned the back line of the rear sight. Big freaking deal. Come on, man. God. Okay, so let's talk about the barrel. The barrel's been upgraded. It still does have the polygonal rifling that the Gen 4s had and the Gen 3s had. However, what they have done is they recessed the crown of the barrel. And what that does is that helps stabilize that bullet as it leaves the end of the muzzle. So that's something that has been improved. I think that is actually a good upgrade. So far they've said that they've gone 30,000 rounds without a failure, so it's doing something right. They've also improved the recoil spring assembly. The Glock 19 Gen 5 recoil spring assembly appears to be the same as the Gen 4, but the 17 has actually been upgraded as well. Now, what I've heard is that both of them have been upgraded, and they have adjusted the timing of the slide actually moving to allow it to function a little bit better as parts of the gun start to wear out. It slows that down a little bit, is able to pick up rounds a little bit easier as the gun starts to wear. So again, I think that is a good improvement. They have said that it's gone 30,000 rounds, as I just said, without a failure. So that will increase the reliability. The firing pin safety has been beveled, which makes it a little bit easier on the reset, and then the trigger has been improved, and the reset is actually a little bit shorter, so that allows you to index your finger a little bit quicker, so you can fire rounds faster in certain situations. So what do I think about that? Ultimately, I think that the Glock trigger assembly is still going to be the same, and that most people are going to replace it anyway. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to shoot it. Some of the people that have shot it said that they can tell the difference, but are they going to keep it, or are they going to replace it? I've replaced mine in my Glock Gen 4 here, so I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. That's basically it. That's the highlights of the improvements of the Gen 5. Here's my take on it. It's the exact same thing as the Gen 4, but it's not. So let me tell you why I think that. Personally, I think that the release of the Gen 5 is actually perfectly timed. Let's think back just a few weeks. What happened just a few weeks ago? Oh, SIG P320 failed its drop test. And now, just a few weeks later, Glock is releasing Gen 5. I honestly think that the Gen 5 was a clone or a offshoot of the military model that they put in for testing against the P320. When you do a test pistol and you produce a few of them for the Army to test, there is a lot of R&D money that is spent to try to get that contract. How is Glock going to make up for that money spent? Well, they're going to release a Generation 5 with a few upgrades that can be easily done with just minor retooling, and all of a sudden you have a new generation right after the controversy of the SIG P320. Now that's just my conspiracy theory, and I know you guys probably think I sleep with tin foil on my head, but look at the timing. It seems pretty odd in my mind. So that's just kind of my take. Ultimately, what is going to happen with the Gen 5? Well, the Gen 5 is, I'm sure, more reliable. I'm sure it's going to work out very, very well. But what are the two things that everyone complains about with a Glock? Their sights and their triggers. Well, guess what, Glock? Your Gen 5 is going to have your sights and your triggers replaced, unless you spend the extra money to get the AmeriGlow upgraded sights. I don't get it. I don't think that the marketing behind this is in sync with the engineering. Are you even listening to your customers? Are you even listening to all the complaints? Are you watching videos? Are you asking questions of shooters in the field? Are you seeing what modifications they are doing? Why not come out with a generation that pulls in a lot of those ideas and upgrades that Glock from there? Just some of my thoughts. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Go ahead and hit me up in the comments section down below. I'm sure that there's a lot of Glock fanboys out there that are not very happy. I am one too, but let me hear your take on it. Really don't mind whatever you have to say. I mean, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, manifestos, anything, put it down in the comments section down below. If this is your first time with Fit and Fire, I really appreciate you guys considering to subscribe to my channel. I'm still pretty small, but I'm wanting to expand as much as possible, and I could use your help. If you like what I'm putting out, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to get notifications of new videos that I'm putting out, go ahead and hit that bell button right down next to the subscribe button as well. With that, I think I've rambled on enough. I appreciate you stopping by. Keep on dropping those bells and shells. Here comes a high five. You ready? Here we go.